The whistling again?
Just a bloody dial tone.
Maybe it was somebody who didn't know we were staying at Lisa's.
I'll be damned if I'm going to be driven out of my own home.
Or then again, maybe it was Colin. I know he's in trouble. The hotel clerk said he didn't come in all night last night.
I'm no great fan of Crowley's, but Hal said that if we hadn't heard from him by noon, he'd put an APB out on him.
I remember something else Hal said. He said he's sure that the paintings have something to do with what has been going on.
I can't imagine why. They're of no value to anyone but us.
Still, we have to consider that the paintings disappeared when we saw that last body and then reappeared just as mysteriously. And then last night when Colin disappeared, they were ripped from the wall. It's just...
That's probably Clifford. I don't believe it.
What?
Look, I know you're worried about Kyle, but there's really nothing that we can do about it. So let's just take a swim and leave it at that.
Pond draws people like a dog draws fleas.
Hey, Kel.
How you doing, Holden? Willie, I wanted to check on that dinner meeting with Link before I head for Waco.
Oh, well, we didn't get as much accomplished as I hoped, but we're going to try again today. I'm just going to take a quick swim, and I'm going to be right in the office working hard for you.
All right. You going to go up to Wisconsin and visit Seth, Holden?
I don't think so, Cal. I'm going to hang around and see if Ivan wins that contest.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to talk to Kirk so we all can get in. Be a cheering section.
I'm going to have to miss it, but listen, after I wrap things up in Waco, I thought I'd go over to Houston to the plastics division. So if you and Link are still interested, I can send the jet back for you.
Oh, yeah, we're still interested. I'll tell them to start packing.
All right, I'll make your arrangements.
Okay.
See you later.
Mommy! Oh, my God. Oh, baby. Look how tall you've gotten. Oh, Jenny, sweetie. Can I get a hug? Don't you remember me, sweetie?
What'd you expect? It's been 1.5 years since she's seen you.
I sent cards. I sent presents. You remember the little
Julie,
stuffed animals?
it takes more than
Little
presents.
octopus?
I think it's time you and I had a real long talk.
All right, Frank, but not here.
You feel like ice cream? Yep. Chocolate chip mint? Yeah, I know a great place. We can all go take a drive. We'll get some great sundaes.
Hey, we're not going anywhere. Look, I'm sorry if it's not convenient, but like I told you on the phone, Cheryl and I talked it out. We're going to visit her parents, and there's no way we can take Jenny and Pete. So like it or not, you're going to have to play mother for a while.
As the world turns. This portion brought to you today by Oreo Cookies from Nabisco.
As soon as I read this article, and when there wasn't any answer, I came right over on the double. Now, will somebody please tell me what is going on?
Well, there have been some really strange things happening around here, so last night we stayed at Lisa's. And...
A couple of weeks ago, Harriet, Shannon and I found a body at the foot of the stairs.
What? You mean another corpse?
Well, we thought it was at the time, and then we came up here to call the police, and it vanished.
Well, and then shortly thereafter, our portraits vanished as well.
Yes, and then they reappeared just as mysteriously. And then there was this woman at the Mona Lisa who requested the song of the pianist called In an English Country Garden. And that is a tune that somebody keeps calling up and whistling on our telephone. And then this woman showed up, apparently dead. See, Colin and I found her, and I came up here to call the police. And then Colin got conked on the head, and the woman was gone. And then she turned up really dead.
Stop. That's enough. I thought when you two got married and moved out of that spooky castle that this kind of thing would stop.
So
It's Lilith, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. It's not Lilith's style.
How can you stay here when you know that a murder has been committed on those stairs?
Oh, Harriet, the woman died of natural causes. There weren't any wounds or anything.
Oh, that's terrific. Something scared her to death. Who was she?
We don't know. I ran a photograph of her in the Argus, and the police took fingerprints, but as yet they don't have a match.
I am being a terrible hostess. Would you like some coffee or something?
Thank you very much. I'm not staying. On the other hand, I don't know that I'm quite ready to renegotiate those stairs yet.
I'll put on the coffee.
Thanks.
That's Colin. Hello?
Hello there. The Argus gave me your number. I've got some information about the woman whose picture you ran.
Hang on just a second, okay? Duncan! Pick up! It's a man calling about the dead woman!
Hello, this is Duncan McKechnie. I'm the editor of the Argus. Can you identify the photograph of the woman that we ran?
Yes. I'm sure it was a woman by the name of Amelia Larson.
I see. Do you have a phone number for her, an address, next of kin?
I'm afraid not. The last thing I knew, she lived in Oakdale, but she never mentioned anything about relatives.
I see. And what, may I ask, is your name, sir?
Edward Meyerhoff.
And when was the last time you saw Mrs. Larson?
I haven't seen her for years. Last I knew, she was in hospital for a heart condition.
What hospital, do you know?
No, I don't. That's all I've got to say. I don't want to get involved.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Don't... bloody hell, he hung up.
What are you thinking about?
About you going off to Houston.
Oh, well, that's a couple days off, and besides, you'll have met with Mr. Lang and be on your way back to England to see Angel and Noel.
I was hoping you'd be around to say goodbye.
I think we've said enough goodbyes to last a lifetime, Holden. Maybe things will be different now.
What do you mean?
Well, you and I have discovered that we can be friends, so maybe I can see more of you. And we won't have to say a real goodbye again. Hi.
Hi.
Listen, Hal is going to bring back the jets, and you and I are going to go down to Houston to visit the plastics plant when he's done with Waco.
When's he leaving?
He's leaving today.
Damn, I need to talk to him.
Hey, guys.
Caleb, what are you doing? I thought you'd be in the fields.
I had to go over with Cal and finish up the books before he left. Excuse me. I was thinking of going back to the fields, but actually, now that y'all are all here, I think I'll take advantage of an empty house and pay a visit to my little wife.
This is much better than the other place I had in mind. You're going to love this. This is Mrs. Snyder's homemade ice cream. All right, you guys just enjoy. Your daddy and I are going to go out to the porch and have a little chat.
We won't be long, kids.
When the kids are finished, Frank, you got to take them and get out of here because they can't be here when the family comes.
You haven't changed a bit, have you? You know, I thought maybe seeing the kids would make a difference to you, but they're just an inconvenience.
Don't say that, Frank. That's not true. I love my kids.
Oh, give me a break, Julie.
You don't know. You have no idea what I went through when you took the kids away from me, and now seeing them again is just opened up
Think
all
back for your new husband.
It's not an act. It's true, Frank.
I tried being reasonable with you. I offered to go to court and grant you partial custody, but you don't...
Oh, that has nothing to do with me. That was just your new girlfriend.
That's a lie. I've been a damn good father to those kids, in spite of your running off...
Just save it, okay? I heard all this in court, and I don't want to hear it again. This is your problem, and you're going to have to find a solution this time, Frank.
Look, I told you when I talked to you last time. Cheryl and I talked this all out. There is no other solution.
Hi. Is that Rose, sweetie?
Daddy said we'll be staying here for a while, but I'm worried about something. Will Jenny and I be sleeping in the same room? She gets real scared of the dark if I'm not there.
I'm still counting on dear little Donna's testimony to win this case for me, but I'm willing to strike a deal where we both come out ahead. Now, if you don't, you'll be out a cool $1 million. And when your precious family starts asking why, you'll probably lose her too.
You know, we can't put this off for much longer.
What's that?
Getting up and going to the courthouse.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for staying last night. Hardly closed my eyes thinking about this decision.
Hey, I already told you. After Tonio's testimony, we do not have a problem. And I am going to be right there with you when we hear the good news.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Maybe we should just go to work.
What, are you nuts? I wouldn't miss this for the world. Now, come on, get it Baxter. Ridiculous. Oh, you're drinking.
Oh, Franny, I love you so much.
Hey, I love you too. I do. We're going to be late. Now, I'm going to take a shower while you shave, okay? Okay.
Hello.
How'd you sleep last night, Sean?
Is this Gail? Well, what the hell do you want?
This is your last chance to take me up on my offer. It no longer holds once the judge renders her decision.
Starting tomorrow, I want to spend as much time as possible with you before the grand jury.
No, that's great, thanks, Jess. But it's really necessary. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to tell him the truth, I'm going to tell him exactly what happened.
Margot, you see, that's what you did with Corey Wallace, and he decided to convene the grand jury.
Can you blame him? I mean, Jess, it's a political football. Fell right in his lap. He had to run with it. Tom, of course, is furious that I went against his advice and talked to Wallace.
With good reason. Margot, I understand how you feel. You honestly believe you were right in carrying out Casey's wishes.
Yes.
And I'm sure that'll work in your favor, but as a police officer who's testified before grand juries in the past, you know the state's prosecutor can take a question and phrase it in such a way that it casts doubts in the minds of the jurors. Now, I just want you to be as prepared as possible for whatever comes up.
But, Jessica, do we even have a date set?
No, not yet, but I'm going to talk to Wallace today and I'm going to find out.
Okay, Jessica, I promise you that I will make myself available to you whenever you say.
Thank you. I'll call you later.
We'll be... Hi.
Well, if I didn't know it, I'd swear Barbara was back.
Well, yeah, I admit I'm kind of a happy guy, but you know what? I'd be a lot happier if my partner were back over there in the detective office where she belongs.
Yeah, well, I'm working on that.
Thanks, Jess.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye, Jess.
Margot, I hope I didn't upset you with that call this morning.
No, I was just trying to have a discussion with Tom that he was trying to avoid. So we're getting nowhere fast.
No, follow.
Well, yeah, I think that Tom is never going to accept what I did. But, I mean, now he won't even talk about it.
Margot, nobody can question how much Tom loves you, but hon, you got to remember that he is still the DA, and what you did, I mean, you have put him in a very difficult position. Technically, you have violated a law that he was elected to uphold.
I know, I understand that, but, Harold, I'm seeing something in Tom's eyes that I don't understand. He's pulling away from me. He won't even talk to me now. There's never been anything that Tom and I couldn't say to each other. Except when I lost the baby.
Wait a minute. Whatever is troubling Tom, he is not about to turn his back on you like he did back then. Tom may be stuck in a very sticky situation, Margot, but once it's resolved, things between the two of you will be as good as they ever were.
But hell, there's this distance between us. And, well, you know, I'm not even asking for Tom's forgiveness or his acceptance, but if he can't even try and understand what I did for Casey, then that distance is just going to grow and grow, and, you know, it's going to become a wall that we can't get over. Excuse me. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay, what?
You didn't say a word in the car on the way over here, Sean. I mean, in fact, the tension was so thick I could have cut it with a knife.
Well, you know, if this decision goes against me, I'm going to be out $1 million that I don't have, and my career's going to be right down the tubes.
Hey, how many times do I have to say this? It's not going to happen. You're just going to have a little bit of faith here, okay?
All right. Why don't you go inside? I need to call the office, all right?
Why didn't you make the call from home?
Well, I didn't think anybody would be in the office before 10 o'clock. I need to find out if Emily's back from Switzerland. I have to talk about Lily for the Kruger meeting. Why, something mysterious about me calling the office? Will you go inside? All right. Hi, Donna. It's Sean. Can you talk?
Yes, Howard's at the university.
Did he ask you any questions about your trip?
No, but I hated having to lie to him. Has there been a decision?
No, there hasn't. I should get a word in about a half an hour.
Oh, Sean, I'm so afraid I cost you the case when I testified.
Listen, you told the truth. Now, the judge has kept your testimony totally confidential, so don't worry about it, all right? I guess the good news is one of our witnesses did show Gail's true colors, and I guess that means I got about a 50-50 shot to win this thing.
I'm praying that you do.
You're a great lady.
You know, I'll always want the best for you.
I want what's best for you. Listen, I need to talk to you about something. You know that I'm very much in love with Franny, and I want to have a life with her.
I hope you do. What Howard and I have isn't the same as what you and I shared. But Howard is very kind, and I know he really loves me.
I'm glad. What I wanted to ask you was, I need to tell Franny the truth about us.
Is that really necessary?
Well, I think it is. As I said, I want to make a life with her, and I don't want to have this kind of secret between us.
I'm always going to have to keep that secret from Howard. But I want you to be happy. If you really trust Franny, then go ahead and tell her.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, darling. Listen, I'll call you when I get a decision, okay? All right. You take care. Okay, bye-bye.
Sean, I'd like to have a word with you.
Well, I have nothing to say to you.
Really sorry.
Freddie, have you talked to Andy yet? No, sweetheart, I haven't, but I promise once this is all over, I will, okay? Thanks. Hey, how's Emily? Is she back yet?
I don't know. Lily just arrived at the office and she hadn't heard.
Well, it was Cal's idea to buy the Whitaker place and have me run both farms, and I'm on salary. Seems to be working out for everybody involved. I don't know, that's about everything I can tell you.
Well, I appreciate you filling me in.
Sure, no problem. Well, I guess that's the end of my visit with Julie. I guess I'll have to go back to the fields now.
Well, I'm sorry for taking your time. That reminds me, though, I got to go see Cal. As soon as I get back, we'll get together and get some work done, okay?
Okay, Lucy.
Bye-bye.
What is with that guy?
I don't know. You know him better than I do.
I think I'll put some sunscreen on.
What is with that oddball laughing? He barely said 2 words to me since he got here, and I can't shut him up.
I can't figure him either.
And the way he's always eyeing Julie.
Do the same thing to Lily.
Yeah, well, Lily's none of your concern now.
What are you two talking about?
Nothing. Nothing important. I'm gonna head back out to the fields.
What?
That's the path back to the house. I have a feeling that Julie's going to get a little visit from her horny husband. Do you put some of this in my bag?
Thanks, please. We've both hurt each other a lot in the past. We never really meant to, but we both know we were never meant to be married.
Look, I don't see what that's got to do with
Just
Pete.
hear me out, okay? Now, I don't know Cheryl, but I just want you to be happy. I'm finally happy, and I especially want what's best for Pete and Jenny.
You sure got a strange way of showing it.
sorry. But the kids just can't stay here. It just spoil everything for everyone.
Yeah, why's that? Caleb loves you and trusts you like you claim?
There's a lot of stuff about my past that I haven't told Caleb yet. A lot of stuff I'm not exactly proud of.
Yeah, like the fact you were with other men while you were married to me.
Damn it, Frank! You're not being fair here. You know there was only one man in my life, and that's just because I was so lonely. You and I never had a real marriage.
Look, none of this changes the fact that Cheryl and I are not taking the kids.
Why don't we fly your mother in? She's crazy about
Look, Mom's in Seattle, remember? After the expense of moving, I can't afford to fly her.
Well, I can. My modeling career is finally taking off, Frank. Why don't I write you a check and we can fly her in? Come on, Frank, I'll pay you $1,000, okay? That ought to take care of everything.
Look, I don't know, Julie.
Hey, kid. You want a little more ice cream before your daddy's got to take you back home?
I thought we were staying here while you went away with Cheryl, Daddy.
Well, plans have changed, sweetie. Your Grandma Helen's going to take care of you. Won't that be fun?
Come on, guys, let's go.
Whatever you're doing, forget it, darling. We got the whole house to ourselves.
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. For Joshua Lewis, his nightmare becomes a reality. When Reva goes over the edge.
Josh, look!
And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
This is Frank Wendell. These are my kids, Pete and Jenny. This is Caleb Snyder.
Nice to meet you, Frank.
Yeah, likewise.
Pete? Lucky to meet somebody. This is my new husband, Caleb Snyder.
Well, hiya. You're almost as cute as your mama.
Oh, she's much prettier than me. Look at all that
Hey, you
blonde
Pete?
hair. Yep.
Oh, wow, you got a firm grip there. What is that, baseball?
Yeah.
All right.
Frank was nice enough to bring the kids by to say hello before they take off for vacation.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Frank. I know that you and Julie haven't exactly...
And not in front of the kids, okay?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, I just want to say I appreciate it. I know it means a lot to Julie.
Do you have horses on your farm?
Well, you better believe we have horses. We have horses, we have chickens, we have cows, we have all kinds of things. You want to see them?
Guess we can't if we have to go back with Daddy.
Well, I don't see any reason why you can't go and see the animals in the barn. If it's all right with your dad.
Yeah, sure. You don't take too long. Do you mind if I use your phone?
No, not at all. Go right ahead. Well, let's go. Come on, the chickens are waiting. Let us go.
Have fun, guys.
Julie, gonna come?
I'll catch up with you later. Let me speak to Frank for a minute.
Okay.
Thanks, Frank.
Forgot how easily you lie. You always manage to come up with a story to cover your tracks.
I just write you that check.
You know, you might as well make it for $1,500 while you're at it.
Yeah, I need you to do a records check. I need an address in Oakdale. The name is Amelia Larson. A is an apple. Yeah, well, according to Mr. Meyerhoff,
Oh, just get curiouser and curiouser. I'll say. But what else is new? Are you concerned?
Okay, so I just wanted to finish explaining. I am here unofficially because Hal convinced me to let me tag along, so we got some ideas talking about.
Oh. Well, I'm really glad that you're here, especially because you were here when the first body disappeared.
All right. Let me know. Yeah, as soon as it comes in. Thanks. You heard from Colin this morning?
No, you know, I'm even more worried now. He was so upset when he saw the body of the dead woman.
Fainted dead away.
He fainted? That's strange. What's so strange about that? I'd have fainted too.
Well, I'm just puzzled because he'd seen the same body before.
You know, you're right. When we found the woman before, I left Colin down there. I came up here to call the police, and that's when he got hit on the head.
Where are you driving at?
Doesn't it seem odd to you that the second time he sees the body, he faints? The first time he sees the body, he doesn't faint? You know, it probably means nothing.
I don't know if it means nothing. I think it's an interesting point.
Well, now, when Colin was missing, these were off the wall, right? Right. Now, I'm sure Hal's right about the portraits. No, it's okay, Harry. It's wrong.
O'Neill, do you think that you could control your musical bent until this case is over?
Sorry.
I asked you to look for scuff marks outside. Did you find any?
Yeah, there were lots of them. Probably from the shipping crates.
I asked you to look for a specific kind of scuff mark. Did you find them?
They started at the door outside. Hello. Hold on. It's for you. It's Detective Higgins.
Thanks. Yes, Joe. Oh, that's interesting. Anything on the medical examiner's autopsy? Right, thanks.
I thought you'd already done an autopsy.
No, only the preliminary, but the lab's come up with something very interesting. You know, I told you that I noticed the woman's shoes were very new, but the heels were very badly scuffed. They found splinters in the heels that matched the wood samples that were taken from the warehouse.
That means she didn't have to die here.
Yeah, it means that she could have been dragged here. They also found another curious thing. There was a stain on the sleeve. Lab says it was oil paint, the kind used by artists.
Then there could be a tie into the paintings like you think.
Yeah, there could, but what?
Joe, don't you have any idea what causing the delay?
No, but I'm sure that's what Jessica wants to check on. Like I told you, the longer Foreman takes to deliberate, the better it is for us.
Well, it'd all be over by now if it hadn't been for Tonio's testimony. Trusting him was the biggest mistake I ever made. Well, I intend to make him pay for what he did, just like Sean.
I think you should worry about yourself. Like what happens if Foreman rules against you. You'll be facing court costs, maybe even a perjury charge.
I don't want to hear it. I don't think I could hate Sean more, but I do.
Damn it. When is Jess going to get back with an explanation?
Hey, easy. Your composure's slipping here. When you want to see somebody who's really sweating, look at Gail.
No, I'm really not. I'd rather not see her face again after today. Thank you. Yes.
I spoke to Judge Foreman's secretary. She's been delayed in chambers. And I also spoke to Blake. Sean, he wants you to call the office so they can fill you in on the schedule with Kruger.
All right.
I thought you already talked to Lily.
I did. She must have gone out when Blake came in.
Jess, do I have time to make a call to the center?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Great.
Can I go with you? The suspense is killing me.
Come on, darling. Excuse me. Sean, now that we have a minute long, there's something I have to say, and you can tell me to mind my own business, but I really think you have to be honest with Franny about Donna.
Yeah, I know. I've already made up my mind. After this is over, I'm going to tell her. I just don't think I can have a future with Franny unless I clear these secrets between us.
Good. Even though Donna's testimony is protected, I still think it's the right thing.
Judge Foreman regrets the delay. She'll be here momentarily.
Mrs. Walsh, she told me some things about Holden and Lily. Now, if what she says is true, I'm worried about Lily, afraid that Holden might hurt her again.
Well, what happened between Holden and Lily was before my time, but from what I can gather, they were in love. But Lucinda thought that Holden wasn't good enough for Lily, so she did her damnedest to break them up. So I wouldn't put too much stock in what Lucinda says.
But she seemed real concerned about Lily.
Yeah, listen, Link. You gotta remember, Lucinda Walsh never does anything for the obvious reason. Anyway, she's got a grudge against all the Snyders, because I haven't. But, you know, I'm getting the impression that your feelings for Lily are a whole lot more than business.
Well, sure. I mean, after all, she's your granddaughter.
Come on, Link, I didn't just fall off a turnip truck.
Okay, I admit it. My concern is also personal. You know, when I first met her, I was kind of put off by her. I mean, she came on almost as strong as Lucinda. But then I saw another side to her the day that you and Emma gave her the news about Casey dying. And I found out she had a real gentle side to her that I find very appealing. And ever since Holden's been back, I've been seeing that side more and more.
Something I don't think you're taking into account, boy. Holden's a married man. There's no way he can offer Lily anything in the way of a future. So if your feelings for her are genuine, go for it. You might be doing her a favor.
It's funny, that's exactly what Lucinda said. In a way, you're both giving me the same advice.
Yeah, well, we're giving you the same advice, but I guarantee you it's for entirely different reasons.
Cheryl, honey, don't worry. Mom's coming in to take care of the kids, so we can go on that vacation with your folks. Julie, that's how. Yeah, she offered to pay for it. You know, this is all working out a lot better than we planned. Look, I'm going to explain it to you when I get there. So, take care, babe. Bye-bye. Hey, the Snyders are outside if you're looking for them.
Actually, you're the one I wanted to see.
We know each other?
Well, I wasn't sure when we ran into each other on the porch. I only saw you once in a bar in Seattle.
I'm afraid you got me at a disadvantage.
I'm Nick Lafferty.
All beginning to make sense now.
What do you mean by that?
That Julie. She kept going on about how in love she was with Caleb. She's playing the same game with him she played with me. So obviously you two got a little something going on the side.
No, that's not true.
Makes no difference to me now. It's all water under the bridge. And I got nothing to say to you.
Well, I got something to say to you. Back in Seattle, I had no idea that Julie was married and had a kid.
Look, like I said, it makes no difference.
It does to me.
You know, I tried tracking you down when I filed for divorce.
I know, I was just trying to put it all behind me.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, look, buddy, whether you believe it or not, it was pure coincidence that Julie and I ran into each other when I came here to work.
Caleb, Snyder. Oh!
Mrs. Snyder,
Company?
and this is Frank Wendell.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Julie's husband? Hi. Well, look who's here. Well, now this must be Jenny and Pete. I recognize you from your picture.
Yeah, we just took them to the barn.
Horses.
So you've met Frank, Mom?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Frank was nice enough to bring the kids by to say hello before they went on vacation.
I see.
Hey. So, we better get going, guys.
Oh, no, what you just got? Why don't you have a little lunch?
We really shouldn't.
Dad, Jenny wants some more ice cream.
Well, now, that'll only take a minute, Daddy. Yes? Yes. I have some vanilla ice cream.
Well, maybe we ought to wash those dirty hands first, huh?
Okay, let's go here, Pete.
Yeah!
Papers for you, son.
Yeah, look who's here. We have company for Julie's lovely little children. That young man is Pete.
Hey, Pete, how are you?
Jenny over there. Frank Wendell.
Oh, it's all right. I'm glad to meet you anyway.
Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Jenny, come on. It's your turn. Come on, Jenny. Come on.
Oh,
Good ice cream.
you want ice cream, I gotta wash your hands.
Can I have some?
Come on, go wash your hands.
I have reached a decision in the case of Kincaid versus Baxter. I apologize for the delay, but it required very careful consideration and deliberation. So many varied aspects, so much conflicting testimony had to be considered. Certain basic facts cannot be disputed. There is no question that Mr. Baxter invited Miss Kincaid into his home, that they shared an intimate relationship, that Mr. Baxter paid for the rent, food, clothing, and other necessities for a period of 2 years. And when Mr. Baxter ended the relationship and moved out of the house, he continued to pay the rent for an additional 6 months. Beyond this point, however, the testimony becomes highly subjective. Miss Kincaid claims that she was offered marriage. Mr. Baxter denies that. Consequently, the court must look to the testimony of others to gain insight into the veracity, into the character, and into the motives of the two principals. Frankly, the testimony set before me thus far in that regard has not shown either of them in a favorable light. The testimony of Mr. Reyes, the testimony of Mrs. Simpson, and especially that of Mrs. Greenhill reflects a serious moral culpability on the part of the plaintiff and the defendant. Indeed, the testimony elicited has in fact raised questions of perjury. Questions which I have decided not to pursue. In the final analysis, it's necessary to sweep away all the charges and countercharges and go straight to the heart of Miss Kincaid's claim that she suffered financial and emotional damages as a consequence of Mr. Baxter's behavior. Damages in the amount of $1 million. Now, Miss Kincaid claims she has suffered financial loss because she was not allowed to work during the time that she lived with Mr. Baxter. And now, she is unable to obtain employment because her job skills were seriously eroded. The testimony of Mrs. Simpson states quite clearly that Miss Kincaid quit her job not because Mr. Baxter ordered her to, but because she was, and I quote, going to kick back and take things easy. Subsequently, after Mr. Baxter moved out, Miss Kincaid approached Mrs. Simpson for a loan. She was refused, but Mrs. Simpson offered her her old position back. Miss Kincaid rejected it because she was, and I quote again from the actual testimony, about to score a big windfall. Now, on the question of her emotional injuries, Miss Kincaid claims that she was so wounded by Mr. Baxter's behavior she is unable to trust a man or to enter into another relationship. The testimony of Mr. Reyes has shown us that that is clearly not the case, since through the duration of this trial, Miss Kincaid has maintained an ongoing intimate relationship with that very witness. For these reasons, I thereby reject the claims of the plaintiff and find for the defendant.
Okay, we'll do that. Listen, go back to the station. It's close to noon. We still haven't heard from Crowley. Put out an APB on him. Did you... Now, go. Anything on the medical examiner's report, the autopsy? Well, that's interesting. Thanks, Joel. According to the medical examiner's report, the dead woman had a toxic dose of digitalis in her system.
That's a drug they give heart patients. Well, maybe she just got confused and took an overdose by accident.
Well, that'd be a possibility, except the ME says that her heart showed no signs of previous damage.
Then it is murder.
Fine, but why would somebody murder her and then drag her about the countryside and leave her here?
Hello? Colin, we've been so worried about you. Where have you been? Where are you? I gotta go to work.
All right.
Bye.
See ya. I can't believe it's finally over.
Believe it. Our lives confirmed to get back to normal. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go call the center right now. I love you.
Bye-bye.
I have something I would like to discuss with the two attorneys. Will you please approach the bench?
Jess.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Probably something to do with allocating court costs, but since she dismissed Gail's claims, it should be pretty cut and dry. Wait here. Connie, I think we need to have a little talk.
You know, I really have nothing more to say to you, Gail, except have a very nice trip back to New York.
You know, I can't believe it. I really can't believe that you're still taken in by Sean even after everything you've heard in court.
Why, yes. As a matter of fact, I'm more in love with him now than I've ever been because, you see, he had enough guts to stand up to all your petty little lies.
I gather Sean hasn't shared Donna's testimony with you then.
No, he hasn't, but I'm sure he will. Besides, it's really not that important anymore now, is it?
Not important that he had a child with her? A child he's never even bothered to see?
I'm glad your daddy brought you out to see me. There's something I want you guys to realize. Even though I don't get to see you very much, I love you. Very, 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 very much. You know that?
Listen, I really appreciate you bringing the kids by. Julie's missed them a great deal. And I know you're not ready to give up on this custody thing yet, but maybe you could let Julie see them more often, you know? A couple of weekends here at the farm?
Sure. Yeah, we'll see what we can work out.
Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Great.
Okay, we're finished here.
Go, guys. Ready to hit the road?
All right, you want to walk them out, Julie?
I'm going to sit my bystander.
All right, well, I'll walk them out to the car. Easy.
Oh, can't move my foot.
You all right? Hey, Buster Bear.
You're making my foot. Wave goodbye to Mommy, Jenny.
Go, guys.
What are you doing here?
I have to ask you something.
Caleb will be back in a minute, and I don't want to talk.
You're not going anywhere till you answer a question that's been bothering me ever since I saw Jenny. When I picked her up to wash her hands, I was sure.
What are you talking about?
She's my little girl, isn't she? That's why you've been in such a rush to get the kids out of here.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of the CBS stations. Handbags and Belts by Oscar de la Renta. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns.